Good morning, gang. ThatPsySquatch here, back with another Java Edition Snapshot video. Today we're going to take a look at a few changes, and most importantly, a bug fix for something that has been around since, 2011? Seriously, since 2011. So I hope you all are excited. Let's get right on into it. Now today we're taking a look at Minecraft Snapshot 23W14A. And the biggest changes to this update is we got some changes to Skulk blocks. We got some changes to enchanting tables. The desert temple now has an update to its collapsed room. Java Edition also is getting a brand new logo. We have a brand new background for the Trails and Tales panorama. We have a handful of technical changes and literally dozens of bug fixes. Now, the thing I'm most excited to talk about are the changes to the enchanting table. But first, let's go ahead and take a look at the brand new logo, as well as the brand new panorama. And then we'll take a look at some of the changes to Skulk sensors. And then finally, we'll take a look at the enchanting table. Now, the first change that we have is the brand new Java logo. The brand new logo. It's so pretty. Now, I know, some of you may be wondering, wait a second, what's new about it? Well, here's a quick A/B comparison. Old, new. Old, new. To be honest, I think I like the new version. Very, very clean, very polished. I like it. Now, next up, we have the brand new panorama, which is for the 1.20 Tales and Trails update, or Trails and Tales, or whatever the update is called. Now, the new background is this beautiful panorama of a cherry blossom field. The one thing I'm not certain about it is as much as I love the sunset, the image is a little dark. Probably benefit from a little bit of a brighten up. Just saying. Now, as for Skulk sensors, both the calibrated Skulk sensor and the regular Skulk sensor have received several updates and changes with this snapshot. Now, the first change is that the active cooldown has been reduced from 2 seconds to 1 second. However, this is only for the calibrated Skulk sensor. So for example, if we take a look at these two right here, if I move, you can see that the calibrated Skulk sensor, this one, deactivates and is ready for use again about a second earlier than the standard Skulk sensor. So if I move again, you can see that one deactivates while that one is still active, allowing for the calibrated Skulk sensor to be activated more often. Now, another change that they made for the calibrated Skulk sensor is that they made it accept signals from redstone components more consistently. So for example, signals can now be received through a block. So for example, we have this setup right here with a block in between the lectern and the calibrated sensor. Now, before the update, this would not work, but after the update, we can see that it still picks up my frequency or my vibration, which I currently have set to landing, allowing the Skulk sensor to pick up the vibration through this block and still carry it on to its output. Now, I'm personally excited for this change because it's going to allow us to hide calibrated Skulk sensors in our builds more easily, while still allowing them to be able to, pick up a redstone signal and perform the action that we want them to do. Another change that was made is that they've actually increased the distance as to which Skulk can actually pick up a vibration from 8 blocks to 16 blocks. So right down here, we have a normal Skulk and a calibrated Skulk. If we get 8 blocks away from the normal Skulk, we can see that it picks up my vibration. Now, as for the calibrated Skulk sensor, if we go all the way back to 16 blocks away, we can still see that it will actually recognize and pick up our vibrations. Now, obviously, it takes a little bit longer for the vibration to go from us to the sensor, but it still seems to be very consistent, which is awesome. And lastly, the last change that was made for both Skulk sensors and calibrated Skulk sensors is that once they are activated, they will now directly or strongly power the block that is directly underneath them, allowing you to, send signals. So if we move around, we can see that these redstone lamps underneath are strongly powered by the activation of the Skulk, and it also feeds it along these redstone lines to these other lamps. Oops, I almost forgot. There's actually one more change that they made to the Skulk family, and that is that Skulk shriekers can now be silenced with water. So without water, if you stand on them, you get this awful shrieking noise. But if you decide to waterlog it, and now it's beautiful, beautiful silence. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the thing I'm most excited about is the fix for bug MC2474, which is transparent blocks placed between bookshelves and enchanting tables negate bonuses received from bookshelves. Now, as I said before, this bug has been around since 2011, and it's apparently just now being fixed. Or is it? Now, basically what this bug did is that if you had a fully leveled up enchanting table, something that you could do a level 30 enchantment on, if you put a transparent block in between the enchanting table and the bookshelves, the enchanting table would actually stop reading or stop receiving the upgrade. So I thought this was fixed. Let's take a look at the bug really quick. Now, if we take a look at the bug again, the bug says transparent blocks placed between the bookshelf and the enchanting table negate the bonus. And the resolution is it's resolved. But I do see here in the description a moderator note stating, while part of this bug is working as intended, that's the WAI, replaceable blocks will be allowed between the table and shelves without affecting the bonus. So apparently, this has only been fixed for items that are defined as replaceable objects. Now, what exactly are items that are considered replaceable? Well, that's essentially any item that can be directly replaced by another block. So, for example, we have water, which can be directly replaced. We have lava, which can be directly replaced. And we also have snow, grass, and tall ferns, or large ferns, or tall grass, or basically any of those combinations, except not all combinations, which is where this resolution gets a little weird. So back over to our enchanting table, as we can see, the carpets did not work. But if we replace all this with water, we can actually see that we still have a level 30 enchantment that we could get. Likewise, if we filled this all up with lava, same exact thing, still level 30 enchantments. Now, here's where things get a little confusing. So we saw that carpets don't work, but what about snow? Right? I mean, it's basically the same size as carpets, and yet we still get level 30 enchantments out of it. But again, it gets stranger. Because for some reason with snow, if we want, we can actually layer it all the way up to full blocks. All the way up to full blocks. Well, a little bit more, one more, all the way up to full blocks. It still works. Which is weird because these are no longer directly replaceable blocks. As you can see, we're just placing blocks next to it, not replacing it. So already part of the Mojang resolution is a little inconsistent. But now, let's say you want to have some pretty flowers around your enchanting table. Well, you can do that, because now you can get level 30 enchantments. Or can you do that? Because apparently, only 2 tall flowers work, and 1 tall flowers negate the value. But it's not just that. Not all single size or 1 tall flowers block it, because dead bushes, which are also 1 block tall, those work. Now, if snow layers work, then surely powdered snow is also going to work, right? Wrong. So I appreciate Mojang going through and actually fixing this. I question the consistency of the fix. But regardless, this is still a fantastic change that I think should be expanded out to some additional items. But I do understand players need to be able to keep the ability to update bookshelves or to update the enchanting table by manipulating the bookshelves. So a lot of players would do this by, placing down torches or using pistons to move the bookshelves. So I understand that mechanic is still needed. So it's not that this mechanic could be applied or that this fix could be applied to every single transparent object as well. But I do question why we can't have some transparent objects also not negate the effect. Because I personally, I would love to be able to mix in some walls and or some lanterns into my enchanting setups, or glass panels, anything like that. But unfortunately, those all negate the effect. All right, gang. I think this is where I'm going to call it. I've had an absolute blast today. Thank you all for coming and hanging out. I would love to hear what you're most excited about with this update. Feel free to comment down below. And I will see y'all in the next episode. Laters! Wait, I just realized something. Did we go the entire episode without saying peeps? Ah, dang. Well, if we did, I just ruined it.